All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight on this late, Wednesday evening? Sorry, Thursday evening, going into Friday. Wow, I'm a day off. I'm on entrepreneur time. Anyway, welcome to the show. I have a great yet brief show to present to you folks here tonight with another very important topic that will help, get you on the right track and change your life. So stick around for that. But before we get to all of that, let me first of all make sure everything is rolling smoothly here. Let me just make sure. I'm going to check out the back end of YouTube and make sure that's rolling well. Should be popping up any second now. And it says waiting for me. That's weird. Why is it waiting for me? What is going on here? There we go. It's rolling. All right. Let me also make sure the notification has gone out, and it looks like it has. Let me do a sound check real quick. Okay, welcome to the show. I have a great yet brief show to present to you folks here tonight with another very... All right, we're rolling well. We're going to get right to it here because I don't plan on being on too terribly long. But before we get to the topic here tonight, let me make you folks all aware that over on my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas, I started releasing a 4-part pre-recorded series that my lady and I recorded last week. Part 1 was released yesterday. And part 2 will be released later on this morning. And then the other 2 parts will be released over the next few days. So if you want to find out what my lady and I talked about and you're interested in that, make sure you go over to my main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. The link is below in the description. Or you can just go to youtube.com/lifecoacheli. That's youtube.com/lifecoacheli or at lifecoacheli. Make sure you subscribe. Bang the bell and select all notifications while you're over there because my lady and I are going to be doing a lot of pre-recorded content on that channel. And my lady will also be back live on this channel very, very soon. But for the time being, we're more focused on creating some high quality, great, content for you folks pre-recorded. And we also asked people to email us or comment in the comments section and make us aware of what you feel our brand new show should be called. And we've had some great suggestions so far. And we're going to decide what we call our new show by Monday of this coming week, which that's going to be Monday, July 3rd. Today, the day we're recording this show, or we're doing this live show, is on Thursday, June 29th. All right, so let's not waste any more time and get right to tonight's topic here. The topic of today's show is the choices you make now will affect your future. One more time. The choices you make now will affect your future. I have another great Reddit dating posting to share with you folks tonight that's going to shed some more light regarding this topic. But before I get to that, I just want to come out and say, in my experiences, the choices I've made in the past have definitely affected me in the future and have affected me to this day. Some were good choices that helped me and some were bad choices that hurt me, right? And, if I could go back to my teenage years and my 20s and do things differently, I would, because what I did back then has affected me today. Now, I've worked through everything that affected me, back in those days. But, it kind of set me back. But at the same time, whenever you make mistakes, you're going to learn from your mistakes. And I certainly learned from my mistakes. My goal here as a coach is to help as many men and women as possible learn how to get ahead and become the best versions of themselves they can be at a young age. I didn't become the best version of myself that I could be until my early 40s, maybe my mid 40s. I'm hoping I can help teenagers and, young men and women in their 20s, figure this out by the time you hit your early to mid 20s. So that way you're still young enough with a ton of energy to be able to take all that energy and put it towards accomplishing something that, is going to make you happy and is going to fulfill you in every way possible, financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, etc., right? Personally and professionally. So that is that. Whatever choices you make, what you do today, how you treat people, how you react or don't react, online and offline, is going to affect you tomorrow and in the future. So think twice before you take any action, because actions have consequences, right? Good and bad. Just think about it. Think twice on how not only it's going to affect the person or people that you're taking action on, but how it's going to affect you as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser screen and get right to this Reddit posting here tonight. Where is it? There it is. All right. This is from the subreddit dating, r/dating, and the title is, "My date told me she has a kid and is doing OnlyFans on our third date. We slept together on our second date. She feels hurt now that I don't want to continue seeing her." Let's read that title one more time. "My date told me she has a kid and is doing OnlyFans on our third date. We slept together on our second date. She feels hurt now that I don't want to continue seeing her." Now, obviously, I've already read this. And even though neither one of these, neither this man that wrote this shared his age or shared the age of the woman that he was dating for, a few dates. But what he did mention is that she has, the woman that he was dating has an 18-year-old daughter, right? So I can only assume that if this woman even had her daughter young, some women, have kids even before they're 18. So, if this woman had her kid, let's say between 16 and 18, then this woman is probably 34 to 36 years old at the youngest. But I'd have to guess probably, she's probably in her late 30s or early 40s, right? And just reading that title alone there, where this guy found out that not only does she have a kid, which is not a problem, but she's also been doing OnlyFans, I'd be like, wow, man. Now I get why she didn't want to tell this guy right away. But let's read and see what happens here. Because like I mentioned, the topic is, actions have consequences, or, the choices you make now will affect your future, because actions, what you do in the past and in the present, is going to affect your future. And this is what I feel happened to this woman. Some choices she made in the past and choices she's currently making are affecting her, right? Now, we're not here to shame the woman. She can do whatever she wants to do, but if a man doesn't want to be with a woman that does certain things or has kids, that's his choice. But at least she should be honest and upfront about it. And she wasn't. So, give me a second here. Let's get right to it here. Just venting. Okay. I don't blame you, dude. "Met this great girl earlier this month. We have gone on 3 dates now, in which we slept together on the second date in the heat of the moment." That's how it usually happens. That's great. That means you two had physical chemistry, and you probably had, great conversations, and you probably really liked each other. You got along. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. And it's supposed to happen in the heat of the moment, right? "On the third date," he wrote he, but he meant to say she. "On the third date, she confessed she has an 18-year-old daughter and is doing OnlyFans as a part-time gig, which she fully intends to quit her job and pursue her OnlyFans career." Boy, I wonder why a woman would want to quit her full-time job and go from doing OnlyFans part-time to full-time. Why? Because sex sells, and it's going to make her a lot more money because there are so many thirsty beta males in this world that will pay ungodly amounts of money to see women naked or do certain things because they can't get a woman in real life. So I get why she wants to do it. It's easy money. It's a no-brainer. And she can do whatever she wants, including doing OnlyFans full time. But does that mean any man has to accept her or respect her for doing that? I know it wouldn't work for me. I would never date a woman that does OnlyFans because I would never want any other person in the world to see my woman naked besides me. And I wouldn't want to show myself off to any other woman besides mine. Just saying. I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just saying, hey, women can do whatever they want to do. But actions have consequences. That doesn't mean men have to accept that or want to be a part of that. Let's continue. When I asked why she didn't disclose this, she said that she really liked me and knew I wouldn't want to continue seeing her if she told me earlier. Well, ma'am, do you think that by not telling him, once he finds out, he's just going to automatically forgive you? Not only is he not going to want to be with you because he wouldn't have wanted to be with you in the first place, but now you're lying to him. So that makes it worse. The logic of hers truly baffled me because what was her grand plan here really? To get you to fall in love with her? To the point of where you accepted her no matter what she did? Even if it goes against your belief system or what you want? That's what she tried to do because she's tried to do this with other guys. And then once they found out, they were gone, right? Anyways, I informed her at the end of the date that I don't think I am the right person as I don't want to date someone with a kid, even if she is grown now, and also date someone who does OnlyFans. I don't think the kid's the problem here. I think the OnlyFans thing is the problem. Because here's the thing. I'm assuming these people this man and this woman are probably in their late 30s or early 40s. Now, if you're in your teenage years or your, 20s and early 30s, and you're a single man or a single woman, you probably are not going to be ready to date someone with a kid. Now, I'm not saying that for everyone, but most people in their teens and their 20s and their early 30s that don't have kids are not going to want to date someone or will reject someone that has, kids from someone else, right? But once you hit like your, mid 30s, like when I hit my mid 30s, actually my early 30s, I started opening myself up to dating women that have children. Because once you get to your early to mid 30s, most women your age or most people your age, men and women, are more than likely going to have a kid. At least that's how it was back in my days, growing up. Now things are different. The birth rate has decreased because more and more women are more career focused than having a family. But this is how it was back in my days, the previous generation, Gen X. So, I don't think the problem here is her having a kid, especially her kid being 18. That's a grown adult, right? I think the problem is she's doing OnlyFans and showing her body to tons of thirsty beta males and getting paid for it. I don't think he feels he can respect a woman that sells herself in that way. Now, again, to each its own. If a woman wants to do that, go ahead and do it. No disrespect intended. It's just not for me. Like if my woman was doing OnlyFans, I wouldn't want to be with her. Right? And she would never do that. Choices that you make have consequences. The choices you make have consequences. And this was a choice she made to do OnlyFans because she saw it as an easy way to make extra money. And now she's doing so well part-time that she no longer wants to work her full-time day job because she knows she can make 10 times more money, in a very easy way of soliciting herself, on the internet, right? I can't blame you, dude, for feeling this way. Can't blame you at all. Let's see. She told me she would just stop doing sexual content with other men and stick to self content. Let me read that again. She told me she would just stop doing sexual content with other men and stick to self content. So, ma'am, you're going to stop doing the content that's going to tremendously increase your revenue and just do self content, which will reduce your revenue tenfold. Come on. This guy's not buying it, neither am I. But I explained it's everything about OF I don't want to be with. You're right. Good for you, bro. Good for you for sticking your guns. Or sticking to your guns, dude. Again, he's not shaming her. He's not telling her to stop doing it. He's just saying, I don't want to be with someone that does it. It's his choice, right? And she's not happy about that. Well, too bad. Too bad. Think about the choices you make and what it's going to cost you by doing those things, right? Yeah, you'll have a lot of money, but you're going to be alone because no decent guy in the world is going to want to be with a woman in a real relationship that does OnlyFans. And any guy that's going to be with you is going to be a beta male you're going to be able to control, and you won't be able to respect that guy. You won't want to be with that guy anyway. That's the problem here. Let me check out the chat here real quick. This is a members-only chat, folks, by the way. So if you want to chat here, unless you're a moderator, you need to at least purchase the $2.99 members-only chat package here. If you want members-only chat access and access to live stream replays that are members-only and other pre-recorded content on this channel that's members-only, then you'll need to purchase at least the $4.99 package, and you'll get everything. If not, just listen behind the scenes, and you can comment on the replay. All right. She was hurt because she said she felt we shared a moment during our second date and she enjoyed the night we had. Sure, he probably, let's just put it politely, he probably banged the living you-know-what out of you, made beautiful love to you. He probably was such a great lover and a cool dude that you felt a spark, right? But you're not willing to give anything up for that. You want your cake, you want to bake your cake and eat it too. It doesn't work that way, right? I admitted I did too, but it doesn't change the fact that her life and my life is different. Well, yeah, the difference is she exploits herself on the internet and you don't. I'm just being honest about that. I'm not trying to be demeaning in any way, right? Most men don't want to be with women that exploit themselves on the internet. Most women don't want to be with men that exploit themselves either, although it doesn't really work as well for men. Women are able to make more money doing this because they have the thirsty beta male market. Men don't have, thirsty females. It doesn't work that way on the flip side. Oh, man. What are we dealing with nowadays, folks? Oh, my God. Yesterday, she texted me that she is hurt, that I am like other men who discard her as soon as they find out she is a single mom and does OnlyFans. You're not being discarded because you're a single mom with an 18-year-old daughter. You're being discarded, man, because you're exploiting yourself on OnlyFans, which is your right to do so. It's legal. But it's also his right and choice whether he wants to be with you or not. And he's saying no. And if this is not the first time it's happening, ma'am, you have to understand, any decent guy is not going to want to deal with that. Is not going to want to be with a woman that's showing all her goods for money on OnlyFans. We don't feel special unless it's just for us. Come on now. But I chose to block her instead of replying because I know improper English here, spelling, because I know it would lead to nowhere if we kept talking or if we keep talking. Yeah, dude, I think you did the right thing. I think you did the right thing because this is the woman that really wants to be with you and is going to continue to probably bug you until you give in. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of ghosting, but in this case, it seems like you don't have a choice. You tried to tell her politely. You were open and honest with her all along. And she wasn't open and honest with you at all until the third day, until after you two slept together, because she probably thought once you slept with her, you were going to get hooked on the punani and you were going to give in. But you stood your ground, bro, and I'm proud of you, right? So yeah, in this case, the right thing to do, if she's not accepting it and going away and she keeps bugging you, then you gotta go through, you gotta block her and you gotta move on. Did I do the right thing here? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because you try to do, you tried to be a really good guy and let her down easy, and you were honest with her the entire time. You were honest with her from the very beginning, and she lied to you because she knew she wouldn't be able to keep you around being truthful. So it's not just because of the OnlyFans thing. It's the fact that she lied to you on top of that. That's the icing of the cake. I'd be done too. I definitely would be done as well. I didn't exactly tell her I don't date women of certain criteria, but over the period of us talking on the phone, she should have told me earlier so we won't be in this mess. Well, you could have asked her too, bro. To be fair to her, you could have asked her too. Do you have any kids? Ever been married? What do you do for a living? Do you have any side gigs? Right? Because everyone nowadays has a side gig. They call it a side hustle, right? So if I think the one mistake that you made that could have solved this problem earlier, and maybe you would have never met her if you're meeting on a dating app and talking on the phone, or if you went on one date with her, you could have asked her before you slept with her, right? You guys have to be proactive and ask questions, right? Like when I was single before I met my lady Dawn that I've been with for almost 2 years, talking to a woman online, I would try to take it to the phone as soon as possible. And then, I would talk with them for an hour and I would ask them a bunch of questions. And, the good women that were truly interested, they would take the time and answer those questions. The women that were trying to hide something, like this woman, would say, what is this, 20 questions? What is this, an interview? Yeah, you're damn right it's an interview. I would never say that, but in my head, I'd be like, yeah, it's a damn interview. I'm looking to see if you're the right person for me. And you basically responded to me in a way where you just made it very easy for me to walk away without wasting any more of my time or even your time, right? So you guys have to be more proactive and ask questions. So that's the only thing you did wrong, dude. You didn't ask these questions up front. But she should have still told you anyways. So she should have told me earlier so we wouldn't be in this mess. But again, you could have asked her too, bro. I am slightly angry with her too because I've known this earlier. If I would have known this earlier, his grammar is horrible here, but I can tell what he wants to write. I'm slightly angry with her too because should I have known this earlier, we would not have slept together as well. It sucked because I really liked her as a person. So she's probably really fun to be with, easy to talk with, easy to get along with. That still doesn't excuse her holding things back. If she's going to lie to you early on, then she's going to lie to you down the road about other things, right? Right? You can't lie to someone right out of the gate and then get caught in that lie and expect that person to forgive you early on and have faith that you're going to be truthful the rest of the way. And no, that's not a good way to start things. She blew it. Edit. I am not against single moms, as some of you are stating. It's just my personal preference to not date women with kids, no matter how old or young the kids are. Well, that's your choice, right? I used to feel that way myself until I hit about maybe my early 30s, And, the first time I dated a woman with kids, it was a little awkward. But after that, it didn't really matter because I was past the age of 30. And I was saying to myself, well, at this point now, most women I meet are either going to have a kid or have been married already and gone through divorce. So, you know what? I'm just not going to hold it against someone. I'm just going to look for someone that's going to be open and honest about their past and go from there. Edit 2. And give me a second here. When I asked if I did the right thing by ending it with her, it was about her dishonesty and not about her OnlyFans career and kid, which most of you are twisting this post about. Well, I do believe you somewhat there. I'm not saying you're lying. I don't think it has to do about her kid. What it has to do with is her OnlyFans career and her being dishonest over everything. So I don't think, even if she was truthful with you from the get-go, you might have been more understanding if she just had a kid and not did the OnlyFans thing. But her having a kid and doing OnlyFans, come on, dude. Most decent guys, including myself, wouldn't want to date an OnlyFans woman. No. Sorry about that. That's just not the way. That's not the way that I want to, live life. I don't want to live, dating someone that's going to solicit themselves on the internet for money. It's just, it doesn't work for me. And yes, I have my preference. If I knew beforehand she had a kid and OnlyFans, there wouldn't be a first date. Well, you could have asked, dude. The thing is, to be fair again to her, you could have asked, do you have any kids? Do you, what do you do for work? Do you have a side hustle? I'm just kind of curious. You seem pretty cool. I'm curious to know what you do during your spare time, right? In essence, you're kind of politely and tactfully forcing her to tell you the truth, because if she doesn't, and you continue seeing each other, and then down the road she tells you these things, then in essence, she'll be proving to you she was lying, and then it'll end it right then and there, right? I am not going to apologize for having my standards and for those people defending that having a kid and OnlyFans is not a good reason to reject someone. It's a perfectly great, reason. You're entitled to live your life the way you want to live it, dude. You can choose to date whoever you want and not date whoever you want. It could be for any reason. You don't have to be with anyone, dude. Right? You put yourself out there and you go on a date. If it clicks, you go on a second date. And if it continues to click mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, okay, and there's trust and honesty built, then you keep going. If not, you move on. Dude, the people that are coming at you are probably other women in the same situation or other beta males that are white knighting for these women. You don't need to listen to people that don't know what the hell they're doing. You know what you're doing, dude, and I'm proud of you. Proud of you. I have news for you. Not all people are the same. You're right. There are going to be a lot of people who feel dating someone with OnlyFans doesn't align with their values. It doesn't align with mine. It doesn't align with most decent men. Or not all men want to be with a woman with a kid because it's just not in their preference to have a kid in their life. Simple as that. True. It doesn't bother me. The kid thing doesn't bother me. The OnlyFans thing is a definite no-no, right? It's a definite deal breaker. OnlyFans, you do OnlyFans? No, I don't have to worry about it because I found the love of my life and we're going to be together forever. But if I was still single and looking for a decent woman, if she did OnlyFans, even semi part-time, 1 hour a week, half an hour a week, it's a deal breaker. That's it. All right, we are at 28 minutes. I'm going to read a few comments here in the comments section and wrap this up. Username 3210 says, well, it doesn't matter what we say, it matters what you want. That's true. Good point. If OnlyFans is a deal breaker for you and you don't like the fact that she didn't disclose she's a mom, this person's like from Australia or somewhere. Big detail right there. And she does OF, that's your prerogative. I don't think you have to say, yeah, just because she is hurt. If you want honesty and a relationship, this is a precarious way to start. Yeah, it is. I can understand her insecurities. I can too, but that doesn't mean she can lie still, right? She can't lie and expect the guy to forgive her after 3 dates just because they slept together on the second date. But it is a big red flag to omit the fact that she's a mother. It's a big red flag to lie about anything. even OnlyFans. To me, that would be even more important than the OnlyFans business. Both are important. But the OnlyFans thing would bother me more than the kid thing. If she lied about the kid thing, I might be willing to forgive that, maybe, possibly. But lying about OnlyFans, that's a very, very, very deep insecurity. Women lie about that because they really don't want to do OnlyFans. They do it because it's the easiest and quickest way to make 10 times more money than working their day job, 40 hours a week. They can make the same amount of money that it takes them to make working 40 hours in their day job in 5 to 10 hours a week on OnlyFans. If they work 40 hours on OnlyFans, they can make 4 to 5 times or even 10 times the income they're making. But that comes at the price of exploiting their bodies. And all women know, men don't want to share their woman. Women don't want to share their man. So why should women expect men to share them if women don't want us sharing our bodies with other women? Come on now. Seriously. Come on. To me, she should have disclosed up front she is a mom at least sometime during the first date. And then the OF thing, which is more loaded with individual moral judgments, your choice. It's not about moral judgments. It's about, I don't want the whole world seeing my woman naked or paying my woman to see her naked and do things over the internet with her. I mean, what guy would want that? What sane, normal guy would want that? Everything is boring. That's a great screen name. I think you also missed mentioning that she does OF content with other men. So I think that must have played a role, even though he didn't mention it directly. Of course it played a role. Of course it did. It played the biggest role, more than the kid thing. He can't respect her for doing that. Now, he's not trying to shame her, and I'm not shaming any woman, but I personally could not respect a woman I was dating that does OnlyFans. If you're going to do that, you got to be single, in my opinion. And if you find a guy that accepts that, then I feel sorry for that man, because that man is lacking something, lacking masculinity. No real true masculine man would want to share his woman. Thomas the Hippo Slayer. Oh, okay. All one word there is a screen name. Plus, I feel like you should put deal breakers up front. That's what I would do in the past before I found my lady Dawn. I put all my deal breakers on my Match.com profile. I'm looking for this, this, and this. I'm not looking for this, and this, and this, and this, and this. If this doesn't work for you, please don't waste your time or mine. If you feel we're in alignment and you respect my upfront honesty, please message me. And I got a lot of, back in those days when I was on the ask where I met my woman, I got a lot of messages. A lot of them were women saying, your profile's too harsh, you need to tone it down. You're never going to find someone. But I also got a bunch of women that appreciated my honesty and were interested because of my honesty. Be honest. Be honest. You'll get some crap from some people, but other people will appreciate your honesty. That's how Don and I, hit it off. We were honest with each other from the very beginning. We loved each other's Match.com profiles. So, plus I feel you should put deal breakers up front. I don't want kids, and I know that is a deal breaker for most women, so it is on my profile. If you try to get someone invested in you before dropping the bombshells, it is leading them on. Yeah, some guys will pretend to be into women with kids just to sleep with them once. Maybe that's what this guy did. Who knows? But what good's that going to do? Okay, so you're going to pretend to accept the fact that she has a kid or 2 or 3, go on a few dates, then you have one night of passionate, great sex, and then you got to let her go. I mean, that's the way you want to live your life. That's on you, but it doesn't work for me or anyone that wants a real relationship. Everything is boring is back with another comment. And honestly, you save yourself a lot of trouble. I have friends whose dates got violent after dropping the bombs. That's why you got to be upfront right away on your profile and on that first phone call before you meet. And do not ever meet someone from online dating without having a 30 to 60-minute phone call before you meet. That phone call will state a lot. You will hear their tonality, and you can tell if they're a decent person or not, if they're interested or not. More than likely, that is. I don't want kids either, Lady Pink 28 says, and I'm having difficulty finding child-free men. Yeah, it works both ways. Thomas the Hippo Slayer, good luck to you. I don't think it is easy for either of us. Child-free people are overwhelmingly women, which makes it tougher for you. But it seems like a lot of women who don't want kids also don't want to date, which is why C4F CF is the only CF sub with a male majority. That's some other Reddit group here. I'm not quite sure what that means. Anyway, yeah, a lot of women that don't have kids are more career focused than family focused. They're focused on their corporate job and moving up the ladder. They don't want to date, and they don't want any kids. And if you're a guy looking for someone that, wants to hang out and go hiking and do fun things and eventually get into a relationship and possibly get married and have a family, okay, those women are not going to work for you. You gotta, keep going and keep talking until you find a woman that resonates with you. And same thing with you, ladies. You gotta keep going until you find a man that truly resonates with you. But you gotta be honest and upfront from the very beginning. All right. A couple more here. Wister says, at 18, the kid, whilst her is an adult, it's from another country, while she's an adult, which is what they should have said. Now, so she's not really supposed to be as tied up anymore. Also, if the kid is 18, then original poster should be old enough to be aware and have asked about kids before and himself. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. Excuse me. I said the same thing. I said exactly the same thing. He should have asked her these questions on a phone call, before they met. But he didn't do that. So, I mean, it's to be honest with you, yeah, she should not have lied to him. But, dude, it's your fault for not asking these questions up front. But the reason why a lot of guys don't ask questions up front is because they're afraid that, the woman's going to feel too overwhelmed, or the guy's asking too many questions. Any woman that feels overwhelmed and feels like the guy's asking too many questions up front is just not looking for something real, or is not in a good place to be ready for something real. So either way, you're going to find out if you're compatible or not. Ask questions. If she's not the right person, someone else will be, and they will answer all your questions honestly. Come on. Wow. All right. Casa, I think it's a woman who's in a serious relationship. I know plenty of 18-year-olds who are still with their parents unless they went off to college, but still they are the majority of the time tied up with their parents. Yeah, but when you're 18, you're an adult. Even if you're living at home, you typically have a car, or you're going out with friends and you're not home as much. So I don't think the 18-year-old child, or young adult, let's call them that, because that's what they are, would have been an issue. I think the issue was the fact that she was doing OnlyFans, or is doing OnlyFans, and he lied to her about the kid and OnlyFans. Let's see. A lot of kids, once they finish college, either do one to two things. They move out with a long-term partner, or move right back in with their parents until they can save up for a place of their own. It is very, very rare if an 18-year-old has it all figured out around that time. That is true, but that's not at 18 years old. You are old enough to do your own things, even if you live at home. You're going to be out most of the time with your friends and doing other things. And when you're home, you're going to be in your room, not wanting to be bothered by your parents, right? So the kid here would not have affected anything. It wasn't the kid, in my opinion. And here we go. I'm going to wrap up with this final one here, because this says exactly what I just said. Swimming topic 6698. I believe it's a woman saying this. An 18-year-old might live in the home, but they're not tied up to their parents. Right. Big round of applause for that. Here we go. Yeah, that's it. That's absolutely it right there. The parents no longer have to figure out childcare or take them everywhere. That's right. They're going to be going out with their friends. They're going to be more away from home than at home. And then when they're at home, they're going to be in their room, not wanting to be bothered. Parents no longer have to keep an eye on them and check in and build their plans around them. It is functionally no different than dating someone that is childless and has a roommate. Before we wrap it up, big round of applause. I couldn't agree with you any more than that. Wonderful. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's go back to full screen. I'm just going to wrap up by saying this, folks. The choices you make now will affect your future. If you have a child in your teenage years, of course, it's going to affect you throughout your 20s. If you want to go to college, it's going to be a lot harder to go to college and find someone to watch your child. Maybe you can get your parents to do it most of the time, but when they can't do it, you got to pay someone else, right? Okay. It's going to affect your dating life. Folks, you have to think about the consequences of your actions before you take the actions, right? The choices, again, you make now are going to affect and will affect your future. So just think twice, think 3 times, think wisely, right? Now, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm 49 years old. I'll be 50 in December, right? And I have all this experience now to, think twice, 3, 4, and 5 times before I do something or say something, right? That will affect me now and in the future. And when I was younger, I didn't know as much. But what I will tell you, I was still pretty cautious when I was younger. And I still, thought about most of the time how things will affect me in the future. I still made mistakes that affected me. But because I was fortunately raised right, and I just, learned how to, protect myself and take care of myself at a young age, for the most part, it hasn't really affected my life completely, But yeah, actions I did take back then have affected me, and did slow me down for a while, but I was able to turn it around. I think this woman, from this point on, needs to come out and be honest with guys and tell them, hey, I have an 18-year-old daughter, and I'm doing OnlyFans. I know it's something that may not resonate with you. I'm doing it because I need the money, and it pays very well, and I just want to be honest with you. I mean, if women could just come out and say, look, I'm doing this because I need the money. It's easy money. I'm struggling to pay my bills. My current job, is not paying me enough, and I'm going into great debt. And I feel like I have no other choice but to do this, But I'm a good person, and I want to get out of this as soon as possible, right? If women started to approach it in that way, maybe some guys, including me, might be able to understand and accept it more. But the thing is, women try to hide it because women try to say they're not ashamed of it, but by hiding it, it's basically saying you are ashamed of it. Just own it. Own everything, and that'll give you the best chance to get whatever you want. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other.